welcome to the show. I appreciate you tuning in for another brand new review. Don't forget, every Wednesday from now until Halloween, I'm going to be giving you 12 new spooky streaming suggestions for you to check out so you can keep your Halloween movie watching season going in style, folks. I know, it's always so much work finding the movies that you love, something new, just something interesting to watch when the Halloween season comes around. I'm taking all the work away from you. Again, every Wednesday night at 8:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time from now until Halloween, come on back and check out the show for new streaming suggestions on all your favorite platforms. But in addition to that, throughout the week, I'm still going to be dropping reviews in the world of horror for movies, TV shows, games, books, whatever you want there, folks. You don't want to miss any of that, and the best way to stay on top of all of it is to get subscribed to my link tree. And you can do that by going to linktr.ee/T-Scary-Movie. If you get subscribed to my link tree, that's going to be access to the YouTube page for the video versions of the show, to your favorite podcasting platforms for the audio-only versions of the show, to my Letterboxd page for my written reviews and my movie rankings through the year, to my TikTok page for my short horror content including movie news and movie premieres, to my Twitch page for my horror gaming including Phasmophobia and The Thing Remastered, and to my Fangoria shop page where you can enjoy my 20% discount off anything in the Fangoria shop, including a yearly subscription to the physical magazine. Take advantage of everything, folks. Hit that subscribe button. More followers I get, more content I can put out for all of you. Tonight, we are talking Halle Berry's new horror film, Never Let Go. Folks, I don't want to waste any time. Let's jump on into things here. If you haven't seen the trailer for Never Let Go yet, this tells the story of a mother and her two young boys living out in the middle of nowhere, spending years and years tormented by an evil, malicious spirit. But one day, when one of her sons decides that the stories that he's being told might not necessarily be true, his decisions will put his entire family in mortal danger. And there it is, folks. That's Never Let Go. Now, I'll be honest on this one here. You know, first seeing the trailer for it, it didn't really catch my attention that much. It seemed like there were shades of a lot of films that had actually come out really, really recently that I might have enjoyed just a little bit better than the way Never Let Go was going to go about doing it. There were shades of Arcadian, there were shades of There's Something Wrong with the Children, and there was one from like a decade or so ago, Evan Rachel Wood in it, called Into the Forest as well too. And I couldn't shake those feelings throughout this film that I was getting bits and pieces from all three of those all placed into this one movie. And the thing is, some of the things that Never Let Go does really well, does much better than those films. But the flip of it is that that's only like a part of its sum, if that makes sense. Like to where certain things it does do better, but as a whole, I don't know if it's necessarily a stronger film than a lot of those other ones that I just got done naming. From the jump here, obviously Halle Berry is going to be your major in here. She's the star power. She's the name that you know, but we shouldn't overlook the fact that Alexandra Aya is our director. If you know that name, that man has brought us actually a number of beloved horror films, a lot of remakes over the last couple of decades. He did Piranha 3D, he did The Hills Have Eyes, he did High Tension, he did Crawl. Like, he's done a number of films that are very, very much high profile, and for the most part, they're all really actually good as well too. Now, with this one, he didn't work on the script for this. The script for Never Let Go was written by Kevin Coughlin and Ryan Graspy. And I think that some of the problems that I was having with this film going through it is that it doesn't want to commit to telling you what side of the story it wants to set up and stand behind. The film, like I said, focuses on this family of three. They're living secluded from the rest of the world, and the mother, played by Halle Berry, continuously tells her sons that there's evil out in the world. It consumed the world. It made everybody turn on each other and kill each other. And so the three of them have now been living out by themselves at this point, along with Halle Berry's, other family, previous family, have been living out in the woods for years and years and years, just keeping alive. But there's always that threat that the evil would locate them and presumably kill them or force them to kill each other. Whatever the case is, we're only given certain breadcrumbs about it. And the way we see it is that Halle Berry's character is very, very much like, she loves her sons, she cares for her sons, she wants to keep them safe, she wants to keep herself safe. But it doesn't change the fact that she's lived by these rules, she was raised on these rules, and she's willing to do whatever it takes to make sure that these rules are not broken and that nobody else is put into mortal danger. And because of that, her sons start to notice that she's maybe a little bit more erratic, she's maybe a little bit more unhinged. There's more problems developing with her as more time goes by. And going away from the internal mental health problems that all three of these people would be having is the fact that also because they're living in the middle of nowhere, they're also running the risk of running out of supplies as well too. As we see, they are fastly dwindling down as the days go by. Now, Halle Berry always puts in a great performance no matter what role, what film that she's doing. Doesn't matter if the movie's good or bad. You can always trust you're going to get a good Halle Berry performance out of it. But in truth, though, our real stars here are the two actors that play her sons, Nolan and Samuel, Percy Daggs IV and Anthony B. Jenkins. Honestly, putting so much weight on two extremely young kids is a big gamble in films, especially in a horror film at that, because horror films rely on children a lot more than I feel any other genre that's out there. That's the one genre to where we feel remarkably safe putting kids in these fucked up situations and seeing the way that they will respond, because you can't do that in real life. That would be traumatizing to a kid. So there's a fetish. And that's really what it is. There's a fetish that we seemingly have with children in horror films, because then we can put them in these horrible situations and see how they're really going to respond and react to it all. And these kids do a phenomenal job with it. They reminded me of the twin sons, or the sons in Arcadian, in the fact that they know the score, they know the rules. At this point, they shouldn't need to be told anything from their mom in this one, or their dad, Nick Cage, in Arcadian. And that's ingrained into them, but that doesn't change the fact that boys will be boys, kids will be kids, and at a certain point their brains start to develop, their bodies start to go in a certain place, and there's just some things that you cannot do in seclusion. There's some things that at a certain point you're going to start to go stir crazy. And kids this young, while we're not worried about things like puberty and girls and drinking and all that kind of stuff, thing is, these kids are young kids who want to be outside, they want to play, they want to experience life, they want to see the joy of it, and really all they've known their entire life is this evil presence that their mom assures them that's out there, and that she just goes above and beyond and is sometimes just deep in her lunacy, doing everything that she can to protect them. And you can see why these boys would start to question their surroundings and questions these stories that are happening, because when you're growing up, when you're super young, you trust the words that your parents are telling you. But there's going to come a certain point to where you can't just take everything at face value, and you have to really start to process for yourself, are they putting me in danger by what they're saying and what they're doing? Because who knows, we don't know anything else. How do I know that you're being so truthful in everything that you're saying? And that's the crux here of Never Let Go, is the fact that we do see Halle Berry's character is going out of her mind, out of her absolute body, to do anything and everything to provide for her sons. But the more that she does, the more unhinged that she becomes, and it makes it hard for anybody to really believe any of the stories that are coming out of her mouth. And that adds into the whole idea that we as the audience are not necessarily given all the breadcrumbs, all the details that we might need as well to make our own decision. Now, for a lot of you, that's going to be very unsettling, and it's going to take you away from any enjoyment of this movie, because you're going to want more information so you can form your own opinion for it yourself. But that seems very purposeful, that the idea is that we're supposed to be caught off guard and kept unbalanced and kept unsettled, just like the two boys are as well too, because they have to make their own decisions there about whether they believe her or not. And we get a real test of both of those ideologies here throughout the film. But the thing is that the movie unfortunately rides the line just a little too much between both of those, to where it just doesn't leave it for a satisfying conclusion in the least bit. There is a lot of foreshadowing and a lot of MacGuffins that get dropped off earlier in the film about things that you don't think will come back around to actually be important, but yet great filmmaking here, the fact that all these little threads that get dropped do get picked back up towards the end. But it doesn't change the fact, though, that the movie just can't commit to one specific side, even by the time that the ending gets there. And so, honestly, it left me a little bit more confused than satisfied. I didn't think it was a terrible ending by any means necessary, but the problem is that it did not leave me feeling like I had concluded my thoughts, like I had gotten definitive answers to the theories that I had made up throughout the film. Now, in terms of scares, there is a lot of really good imagery in here. It was hard not to really think of Talk to Me and the way that they presented, the spirits, the demons, whatever you want to call them, that they kept summoning every time that they were using that hand. It was hard not to think about the appearance of those compared to what we see here in Never Let Go. And part of what makes it so interesting is that only certain characters are really catching these visions. And so that adds a lot to the tension and adds a lot to the scares of them. But realistically, if we're talking just straight up like terrifying imagery and everything, there is some great foreboding over this, and you do feel like almost like the walls are closing in on you as the film keeps progressing, but it just doesn't offer enough in genuine scares there. And genuine might be a little rough, because in my head I'm thinking right now of jump scares, and I don't need a horror movie necessarily have jump scares to be good, but I think those of y'all that might be walking in and wanting like just a casual, easygoing popcorn horror flick that you can just shut your brain off and just get scared by, this is not going to be the one for you. This is going to be a real thinker and a real test of morality, and honestly really testing where your ideologies lie with your upbringing and with your parents as well too. It's a deep thinking horror movie, I thought, for sure. Beyond that though, kind of like how they're running out of food, the thing is that it's almost not enough meat on this bone, because very quickly we start to portray Halle Berry in that evil light almost as our antagonist of the film. And to be honest, she really is the antagonist when it comes down to her verse, like in her two sons. But again, there's not enough commitment either way with anything that happens in the film with the side of the fence that it's standing on. So unfortunately, it just doesn't give enough conviction to enough of these characters to really stick the landing and make the film as successful as it probably could have been. Still a good watch for sure. There are some things to enjoy it. I think the performances, again, of our leads is amazing. But overall, though, this is probably not going to end up being one of the more memorable horror movies that we're going to have by the time the year ends. That said, I'd watch this cast in something else. And of course, I love Alexandre Aya's films. I'd watch the next thing he does as well, too. Like, if he's doing Crawl 2, because y'all, we are getting Crawl 2. So if that works, cool, I'm in it on this one. But I don't think that Never Let Go is going to sell a lot of you to hold on to that rope, though. So either way, I want to hear about it in the comment section, how you feel about kids being in horror films. I don't mean teenagers, because we have a lot of that. But how do you feel when we see kids that are like 12 and under in horror films and seeing all this horrible shit happen to them? Let me know in the comment section for your chance to win a Freddy Krueger Toonie Terror action figure, y'all. I'm going to be doing that drawing at the end of the month. And hit that subscribe button. I got more great reviews coming your way, folks. I appreciate you checking out the show. My name is T. We've been talking scary movies. Stay scared. Boy here is a big fan of Fangoria. So, if you want to check out the world's best horror magazine that's out there, get a chance to get yourself your own subscription, which I just got my first one back in 2022, and I don't regret it for a second. But if you want your own Fangoria subscription, or you like the Fangoria merchandise, then head over to the Fangoria shop and use my link if you want to save yourself some money, folks. That's an easy one to remember. Just go to shop.fangoria.com/axdew. Again, that's shop.fangoria.com/axdew, or use my specific code AXDEW at checkout. You can save 20% off your entire order, and that implies 2 subscription and one-time orders as well. You don't want to miss out, folks, because with the magnitude of horror movies we've had released in the last few years, and with what we have on the horizon, Fangoria is going to be your #1 source for all that great, juicy, bloody information in the world of horror. So again, head to shop.fangoria.com. Hey there, folks! Thanks for tuning in to T Watch This Scary Movie. I appreciate you checking out another review or movie news, whether we're talking movies, TV shows, books, or games, whatever, it's all scary. Remember, you can check out new episodes every Wednesday night at 8:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on the YouTube page for video. That's youtube.com/C/Theron Reynolds Scary Movie. Again, youtube.com/C/Theron Reynolds Scary Movie. And you can check out the audio version on all your favorite podcasting platforms. Just search T Watch the Scary Movie or TWASM. Don't forget, my name is T. We've been talking scary movies. Stay scared.